Good evening and welcome to Nationwide Today on the network service of the NTA. I'm Elizabeth Omori. The former governor of Lagos State and chieftain of the governing APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has formally reacted to insinuations in some quarters that is unhealthy relationship between him and President Muhammadu Buhari, describing it as baseless, unfounded, and a figment of their imagination. Chief Tinubu gave their clarification while speaking to NTA News after an audience with the president Monday evening. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
This is the first formal engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu since January last year. The former Lagos State Governor, who was accompanied to the State House by Chief Bisi Akande, met the president behind closed doors where critical national issues were discussed. Speaking to NTA News, Chief Tinubu dismissed claims that there is an unhealthy relationship between him and the president.
Nothing like unhealthy. Who is our doctor? Is it social media that is measuring the relationship? I don't have to disturb him openly on camera. We have so many ways to look at issues. We have nothing like that.
So the relationship with the president is very cordial.
Very, very close and cordial, frank and honest.
On the prevailing challenges of security in the country, Chief Tinubu made a case for Nigerians to bury their differences and support the president in his genuine efforts at finding lasting solutions.
There's no president who will want his country in chaos. Have you seen one? There's no one that we want a citizen exposed to banditry and danger. There's no president or leader that will want his nation fractured in tribalism, religious differences, and others. It calls for cooperation, understanding, coming together to move for unity and be able to bring a better Nigerian to the people.
Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu used the opportunity to express absolute confidence in the ability of the governing APC to retain power in 2023.
The chances is as bright as a midnight star. We continue to work for a better Nigeria.
He described as exemplary the clearly stated position of the president that constitutional term limits be respected by political office holders. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Into security, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State has formally briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on the recent violent attacks in parts of the state by insurgents, describing the situation as disturbing. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the governor, who was in the State House Monday evening, gave detailed account of the incidents coming after some moments of respite in the security situation. Governor Zulum, who is also the chairman of the Northeast Governors Forum, had told President Buhari that following the renewed attacks, the traumatized residents of the affected areas fled their communities and called for urgent intervention by the federal government.
In Borno particularly, brigade headquarters were attacked. Many soldiers, men and officers of the Nigerian army were killed. Let me use this opportunity to extend my condolences to the families of the deceased. May God in this infinite wisdom forgive them And I think it is my own responsibility to come and say the truth to Mr. President. Let him know what is going on in the entire Northeast sub-region. I think there is a need for us to get support for us to succeed in this war against insurgents. It's very pathetic. A few days ago, Damasak was attacked. Hundreds of people started fleeing Damasak. And now, Gadam is almost disastered. Many people have left Gadam.
So to what will you attribute this deteriorating security situation in that state?
I think the military are yet to receive some of the equipment that they have ordered for.
Therefore made a case for the federal government to work towards hastening the delivery of the equipment ordered for the Nigerian armed forces to enable them confront head-on the criminal elements for the desired peace and stability to be restored in the area. Still in security, a 21-member committee set up to review the management and restructuring of the Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces of Nigeria has submitted its report to the Minister of Defense in an official ceremony held at the National Defense College. Defense correspondent Najato Tijani reports from the venue where the Minister of Interior and Service Chiefs were also present.
Truly holding the Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces of Nigeria in their hands, the chairman of the committee tasked with facilitating a review of operations of the Nigerian military and Ministry of Defense hands over the report after weeks of painstaking research and deliberations.
They observe systemic inadequacies due to much vulnerability within the defense sector in Nigeria, like several other sectors, clearly indicate the need for reforms to be carried out to reverse the trend.
And I am equally delighted on the proposal that the federal government should convoke a comprehensive security sector reform to address the deficiency inherent in the Nigerian police and other paramilitary agencies.
This move is aimed at streamlining the defense structure and activating dormant laws relating to security, among other recommendations, in line with global best practices.
We define security from the point of view of the peace of mind that it gives to the ordinary citizens who don't even know the rigor. Those who provide the security put into it, that is, from the service point of view, or from the operational point of view.
The recommendations will be such that will bring substantial impact on the armed forces.
While committee members are being awarded for their hard work in writing the more than 250-page report with more than 70 recommendations expected to reform the Ministry of Defense and the Armed Forces of Nigeria, which will in turn boost national security, the ultimate reward, the Minister of Defense says, would be to overcome security challenges once and for all. Najato Tijani, NTA News.
The Senate has called on authorities to establish permanent military and police posts in Niger East Senatorial District and other parts of the country plagued by activities of bandits and Boko Haram. This followed a motion of urgent public importance by Senator Sani Musa, which called for immediate deployment of armed personnel to Niger East. In reaction, Senate resolved to convene a meeting involving Senate leadership and President Muhammadu Buhari on security situation in the country. A brief by service chiefs, while the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Director General, National Intelligence Agency, is to meet with Senate Committee Foreign Affairs on the happenings in Chad and its possible implications on Nigeria. Senate has confirmed the nomination of Justice Salisu Garba Abdullahi for appointment as Chief Judge of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Meanwhile, Senators sworn in Frank Imbizim of the All Progressives Congress as the Senator representing Imo North Senatorial District of Imo State. He replaces late Senator Benjamin Owajumogu, who died in 2019. Into bilateral talks, Nigeria and the British government are re-strategizing for a much better partnership on improved mutual benefits for the economy and social development of the two countries. Usman Ali now reports.
This diplomatic engagement between Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama and the British Government Minister for Africa James Dadridge tells more of the post-Brexit commitment by the United Kingdom and present new hope for Nigeria and Africa, especially at this time nations are surviving with the effects of the global pandemic. The two ministers share ideas on various key sectors that guarantee future economic prosperity.
I also bring with me a senior ex-minister from the UK government, who the Prime Minister has appointed both as trade envoy to Nigeria, so working very much more closely with commercial partners and some of your colleagues in ministries, but also fortuitously an envoy for girls' education, where we're promising 12 years of quality girls' education.
I know that the area of humanitarian issues is one that is very much part of your portfolio, and of course it's one that is a major priority for us. Thank you very much once again for the support of the United Kingdom, the concern you're showing with the various challenges, of course, that we face in the northeast of the country and other parts of the country. We appreciate that, enormously.
With the rollout of COVID-19 vaccination campaign, development economists projects United Kingdom's economy becoming vibrant and stable. That means Nigeria takes her step on the success of COVID-19 vaccination and economic recovery after her former colonial master. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been represented by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at Sierra Leone's 60th Independence Day celebration taking place today in the country's capital, Freetown. Our released by Laolu Akonde, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity in the Office of the Vice President, stated that the Vice President would be joining several other heads of states and governments from Africa and beyond who are expected at the event. The Vice President, who left Abuja this morning, was accompanied by the Foreign Affairs Minister of State, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, among others, and is expected back in Abuja later today. You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's take a breather now. More reports ahead when we return. To stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Now to more matters. Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning is engaging developing partners to mobilize resources to improve financing of health security, to reduce diseases and mortality in Nigeria. To this end, a Wonder workshop is held in Abuja to discuss modalities. Musa Abubakar reports.
It is said to be a relief that people are gradually getting doses of COVID-19 Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. But Nigeria's lack of preparedness for unforeseen health challenges exposed by COVID-19 pandemic is still a source of concern, considering gaps in funding health security in the country. This one-day workshop, attended by officials of Federal Ministry of Finance and Development Partners, seeks to increase funding of National Action Plan for Health Security. This is targeted to boost Nigeria's response to communicable diseases and build long-term resilience.
This workshop will help to identify the bottlenecks hindering the benefits of health funding at the federal level, equip frontline workers with skills.
This workshop is one of the approaches the ministry is employing to achieve financing for international health regulation.
Intervention funds don't solve problems in the long term. To build our long-term resilience, we need to fund health security. We need to fund the various ministries, departments, and agencies that have a role to play in health security.
The objective is to establish a budget line in key ministries, departments, and agencies to strengthen health security activities in the country. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
To aviation, the federal government is assessing all airports across the country to improve on their efficiency and security. Emmanuel Akila reports that Gombe International Airport received the International National Assembly Joint Committee on Aviation on the assessment tour.
The aviation industry is one of the critical sectors of economic growth in Nigeria. Therefore, the National Assembly Committee on Aviation is in Gombe State as part of its nationwide assessment of airport facilities in the country to ensure that they operate maximally.
Government government must not leave this airport to Gombe State government alone. That's going to be our position, that this airport requires attention. If we get back, myself and my colleague is going to speak to you too. We look at the possibility of asking federal government to take over this airport completely. I think that would be better.
The governor specifically requested that the airport should be taken over by federal government, and we believe that the airport also should be taken over by federal government.
The lawmakers had a parley with Governor Mahmoud Inoy Yahya, where they discussed on how best the Gombe International Airport can be managed. For Governor Mahmoud Inoy Yahya, the airport, which has been a commercial gateway for the state into the rest of the world, concessioning would be a win-win arrangement for both the state and federal governments.
Whatever we're doing is touching on the lives of the people. So if government or the federal government takes over this airport, we'll leverage on whatever we get and do more to the people. And I believe the airport will operate better.
The National Assembly Joint Aviation Committee continues the tour to other states. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
The Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola, says the Nigerian passport is the strongest instrument of sovereignty, nationality and citizenship. The minister stated this when he received the chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Ewa, in Abuja. Aregbesola explained that the Ministry of Interior has introduced sweeping reforms as it concerns passport application and issuance. He stressed that a regime of not more than 72 hours express passport processing is underway outside Nigerian missions. On managed migration, the Interior Minister promised to work with strategic agencies to see that migration is profitable to the migrant and to the country of stay and homeland. The Minister also applauded NITCOM for a giant stride so far, describing the Commission as a veritable tool for strong and worthy engagement with the Nigerian in diaspora. On her part, the chairman NITCOM, Abike Dabiri-Ewa, commended the minister's efforts in making the passport application and issuance seamless, as well as the 10-year validity period as first of its kind in Nigeria.
Jobs because they could not renew their passports. There are some who could not, go on their journeys because they could not renew their passports. So there are many cases like that, but we keep telling them that government is doing so. I don't think any administration has done as much as this administration on the issue of passports. We also thank you for the new passport policy. For the first time, you have your 10-year passport validity, which has never happened before. I think those who benefit most are Nigerians abroad.
Yeah. The passport is the strongest instrument of sovereignty, nationality, and citizenship. Strongest instrument. Actually, at international level. Outside Nigeria, your only claim to humanhood, to being a human being outside Nigeria, is your passport.
You're watching Nationwide. Now, for more reports, let's join Kende in Lagos. Hello, Kende.
Beth and warm welcome to Lagos. For Nigerians to enjoy quality and durable infrastructure, concerned agencies must ensure projects are adequately supervised to meet all terms specified in the contract. Chairman House Committee on Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Ganyu Abiodun, made the remark during inspection of road projects in Lagos. Samuel Johnson reports.
Being part of the oversight functions of the national lawmakers, the tour gave the team the opportunity to have first-hand information on the quality of work on the ongoing road projects in Lagos-Ogun axis. From the 7-kilometer Aton Agbara Road in Ogun State to the Mushin-Idioro Kirikiri Road, as well as the Onipan Palm Grove Service Lane projects in Lagos, the lawmakers expressed satisfaction with the quality of work delivered by FEMA.
I want to commend FEMA for job well done there. Contractors are not on site. Then who is supervising? And that's why we notice in some of the projects, especially handled by contract and COVID, that's why the quality of some of the jobs are substandard.
Zonal Director of FEMA in the Southwest said the visit of the lawmakers is a pointer to the seriousness of the federal government to deliver durable roads to ease transportation of goods and services.
From our own side, we are making sure that we are ensuring that the contractor does what he should do.
In all, 13 projects, including the 630-meter Eric Moore Igamu Road, were inspected. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
7 suspects nabbed by the operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Murtala Mohammed International Airport Command, are undergoing interrogation for being in possession of hard substances weighing 25.3 kilograms. Commander Hamadu Garba identified the seizure has been the highest in one shipment in the past 15 years. Abalade Salami reports.
With a marching order to sanitize the country of drug trafficking and abuse, with the hope of stemming the tide of crime, officers and men of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have stepped up surveillance and intelligence gathering, which have resulted in arrests of most suspects. The airport command of the agency in the month of April took into custody a number of suspects for ingestion of hard substances and clearing agents built to receive cargoes conveying hard drugs. While one of the suspects caught for ingestion excreted 92 pallets of urine weighing 1.300 kilograms, another placed under observation also excreted 113 wraps of cocaine weighing 1.570 kilograms.
A total of 24.05 kilograms of heroin and 1.25 kilograms of methamphetamine was recovered, bringing the gross weight of the illicit substance to 25.3 kilograms. This is the highest seizure of heroin in one shipment in the past 15 years.
The unwavering commitment of officers at the Sako import shed led to the seizure of heroin concealed in a conflict carton, while another cargo tested positive for methamphetamine.
About trafficking drugs to Europe, are based in Europe. I didn't know if something like that is there before. I was just caught.
The command will deploy more strategies to ensure that those who are bent on illicit drug importation and peddling face the wrath of the law. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Elizabeth, it's back to you.
Thank you, Kendi. An attack on a bag in a community in Makurdi local government area of Benue State has left 7 persons dead and many wounded. This led to blocking of the highway by youths protesting the attack. But a quick intervention by Governor Samuel Ortom calmed the situation. Charles Abba was there in our reports.
This is the Makurdi Lafia Road, blocked by youths protesting the attack on a Bagana community that hosts the IDP's camp. 12 midnight, leaving 7 persons dead. Governor Samuel Ortom, who made an on-the-spot visit to the area, described the attack as barbaric. He lamented the attack and killing of over 70 persons by bandits in various communities in recent times.
All hands will be on deck to address this matter.
Governor Ortom called on the federal government to evolve an urgent pragmatic approach at arresting the perpetrators of banditry and other criminal activities before they make the nation ungovernable. From Abegana, Makurdi local government area of Benue State, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Now, following the attacks in Okiwe South Area Command Headquarters and Douglas area of Owerri, the state capital is witnessing difficulty in vehicular movement arising from increased security measures. Mayor Vincent Oko reports.
Attack on Okigwe South Area Command Headquarters by unidentified gunmen is one out of the several attacks on security outfits in Imo State. The incident left 5 officers dead, while the whereabouts of 1 is yet to be ascertained. Just as the people were yet to come to terms with that incident, the Douglas area in Owerri was hit by attackers, which created fear among residents of the densely populated area. A visit to the area at about 8 o'clock this morning, however, shows that normalcy has returned as business activities have picked up. The impact of the security situation in Imo State is taking its toll on the state capital, as major roads are now witnessing gridlock, arising mostly from some of the security measures put in place.
Trekking from down there to here to make it, you can't even move with cars again. Or if you check the time you will spend on hold up, another thing is you prefer parking the car, take a shuttle. Maybe when you stop, you can trek and make up your time.
This is going to cripple everything that has to do with the economy of this state. Yesterday, I had to drop my car. That was why I'm not driving this.
It's very bad. It's very fearful. The people of Owerri don't know what to do now.
The people are eagerly hoping that the situation will be brought under control so that normalcy can be restored. In Owerri, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
The need for journalists and media organizations to have better understanding and efficiently report migration issues was the thrust of discussion at a capacity building workshop for media practitioners. It was organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, supported by Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation in Kefi, Nasarawa State. Sulaiman Obey Musa reports.
For the purpose of objective and effective reportage on migration vis-à-vis global or regional, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons engaged the media on capacity building to acquaint them with relevant terminologies and methodologies to change the narratives of their reportage.
Over the years, the story of migration has been largely positive, with migration bringing new skills, energy, perspective and experiences to their new homes.
That efforts to protect refugees cannot be pursued in isolation from broader trends, policies, and practices shaping global mobility.
Media now, we expect them to work in synergy with the Commission to give wider coverage about how Nigerians should go about regular migration.
Drawn from different media organizations, participants say the training will boost their skill on how best to report issues related to migration.
It's actually going to enhance the capacity of journalists in reporting migration issues, both in the country and other parts of the world.
Oftentimes the reportage is not balanced. So in order to present the information to the public in such a way that migration can be beneficial to the host country.
The workshop lasts 2 days. From Kefi, Suleiman Ove Musa, NTA News.
In time to pause here and join Abubakar in Maiduguri for more reports. Hello, Abubakar.
Hello, Elizabeth. It's really good to see you. Now, Director General, Borno State Emergency Management Agency, Yaba Okolo, has cautioned internally displaced persons living in camps and host communities to be extra careful while handling fire, especially during cooking. The Director General of SEMA stated this when she led a team to commiserate with IDPs and host communities in Gongolong, Lawanti, in Jere local government area of Borno State, following a fire outbreak that led to the death of one person. Others sustained injuries, while 250 shelters were destroyed. Here are more details of the story.
Commiserating with victims of the fire incident, Director General SEMA, Yaba Okolo, said she was directed by the state governor to assess the extent of damage and to provide immediate relief materials in order to cushion effects of the disaster. The Director General said on hearing the incident, she contacted some humanitarian organizations to come to the aid of the victims, especially in the area of shelter, as well as food and non-food items, towards complementing efforts of the state government. The DG SEMA enjoined the IDPs of Gongolong to intensify prayers, particularly in the holy month of Ramadan, for lasting peace to prevail in the state. Yaba Okolo also added that the state government is making concerted efforts to return victims of Boko Haram crisis to their ancestral homes within the shortest possible time, and commended stakeholders of Jere for their concern towards the plight of the people. While receiving the Director General of SEMA, member representing Jere at the State Assembly, Ajikolo Kadi, and Special Advisor to the Governor, Inna Galadima, lauded the quick intervention by government through SEMA and prayed God to avert future occurrence. Items presented include 250 bags of semovita, maize, and millet each, as well as cartons of tomato paste, among others.
Away from that sad incident now, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara Zulum has re-echoed his determination to continue good governance for progress and development in all facets of human endeavor. The governor reiterated his position while receiving the presidential visitation panel to the University of Maiduguri, led by its chairman, Professor Hafiz Abubakar, on a visit to the Government House, Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Mohammed Goni reports that members of the panel were accompanied by the Vice Chancellor, University of Maiduguri, Professor Aliu Shugaba, and other principal officers of the university.
The Presidential Visitation Panel, led by the former Deputy Governor of Kano State, Professor Hafiz Abubakar, is to appraise performance of the University of Maiduguri between a period of 10 years from 2011 to 2015, as well as 2016 to 2020, and submit 2 reports at the end of its assignment. Governor Babagana Umara, who was once a university lecturer, emphasized the need for a short, medium, and long-term strategic plan, which he said had helped him to bring about infrastructural development when he served as rector Ramat Polytechnic in Maiduguri, and urged the Vice Chancellor, University of Maiduguri, to take advantage of the visitation panel to address the challenges of the institution.
On my own part, I pledge to continue to raise the bar of good governance in concrete, measurable, and quantum value to the electorates.
The governor assured that as a critical stakeholder, the state government will participate in the activities of the panel with a view to taking the institution to a greater height, noting further that too much emphasis on infrastructure in the institutions as against equipment and manpower development are some of the challenges confronting the university system. Chairman of the Presidential Visitation Panel, Professor Hafiz Abubakar, said the visitation panel is a requirement of the law to stockpile the overall performance of the institutions during the period under review for efficiency and effectiveness. Areas of appraisal, according to the chairman, include leadership quality, financial management, as well as condition of teaching and learning, among others, and a further appeal to Governor Babagana Umara to support the mission and participate through submission of memoranda.
As provided in the law, visitations are conducted every 5 years.
Vice Chancellor, University of Maiduguri, Professor Aliu Shugaba, said due to security situation in the state, even accreditation could not hold for some time, for which waiver was granted. Hence, the panel will appraise 2 different periods. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories. For now, from Maiduguri, let us at this point return to Elizabeth in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide. Do enjoy the rest of the day, Elizabeth.
So much, Abubakar. Still on activities of the presidential visit panel, the panel says the input is to gather inputs it's gathering will make a great turnaround on improving standards for the institution of higher learning in the country. In its inaugural visit to the National Open University of Nigeria, the presidential panel met the council and management of the university and exchanged views on the objectives and the targets of the exercise.
Nobody is going to be victimized, especially the panel is not answerable to the university. We are answerable to the federal government of Nigeria. And perhaps it is only when they come to implement the accepted recommendations of the committee that the university can lay their hands on our own report.
Government last week inaugurated presidential visitation panels to 36 federal universities and 4 inter-university centers. Abdullah Musa Suleja reports that visitation panels are integral parts of the university system appointed periodically. The panel has 6 days to submit its reports to the government. Still on education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has assured all would-be candidates for the 2021 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination and Direct Entry that deductions made by telecommunication companies without rendering services during the process of registration paid as a result of network failure will be refunded. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede stated this during a virtual meeting with service providers in Abuja. Olayin Kaujo reports that the board also noted that there will be no refund for errors that were caused by candidates.
An outpour of complaints from parents over what they called exploitation of would-be UTME and direct entry candidates by some telecommunication companies since the commencement of the 2021 registration necessitated this briefing by JAMB.
Ensure that when a service is not fully rendered, no service, and if
there had been any charge that had been made, this should be refunded to the candidates.
On errors and mistakes occasioned by use of punctuations, JAM says it is putting in place measures to accommodate them.
One of the resolutions we adopted at the meeting is that the service providers should now go back between now and Friday, make the system accept such errors. That is, anytime from Friday, even if they make the error, it will go.
The board also disclosed that it will collaborate with the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission and the Nigerian Communications Commission to ensure the deductions are refunded. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Let's now head to Ibadan, where Larry will be our guide. Hello, Larry.
Hello, Elizabeth, and good to see you. Welcome to Ibadan. Contractors handling all federal road maintenance agencies' projects have been warned to do a thorough job or have their contracts revoked. Team leader, House of Representatives Committee on FEMA, Honorable Abdul Ganiyu Johnson, stated these while inspecting some COVID-19 intervention road projects in Kwara State. Damilola Balogun Elebio reports.
Inspecting the ongoing patching of potholes along Ilorin-Ogbomosho Expressway, the committee was not satisfied with the work done by the contractor and was asked to amend some parts. Honorable Abdul Ganiyu Johnson, who led the committee, reaffirmed the commitment of the current administration under President Muhammadu Buhari to giving Nigerians good roads.
We need to do the correct thing. It's people's money. So the purpose of we coming here is to ensure compliance.
The committee also visited Ilorin-Shao, Omuaran Ekiti, among other roads. The committee asked FEMA to step down the payment of one of the contractors, while another was asked to report to Abuja as he was not on site as at the time of inspection.
And ensure at all times that they don't go out of their way to do what is not specified, and that whatever they do falls within what are the agreed specifications and conditions of the job.
We are required to mill only 2 kilometers, and then we asphalt where we have milled, and then we overlay or do pavement strengthening for another 2 kilometers.
We really appreciate the work done on this road because the way we apply it is a very comfortable in the driving.
The inspection of roads awarded by FEMA continues in southwestern part of the country. Damilola Balogun Elebio, NTA News.
Worried by reports of increasing insecurity in Ibarakwa area of Oyo State, Speaker Oyo House of Assembly has proposed inauguration of a joint security task force to arrest the situation. Correspondent Oyeyinka Omole completes the report.
Among the areas mostly hit by the growing insecurity in Oyo State is Ibarakwa zone. Contrary to the rumor that 18 passengers were abducted, the latest kidnap was a woman and a driver who were two occupants of a Mazda Primera car at Opeki Bridge along Igbora, Erua Road.
That 18 bus containing 18 passengers were abducted.
The Speaker, Adeba Ogundoyin, at the Youth Summit, proposed inauguration of Ibarakwa Joint Security Task Force to stem the spirit of insecurity in the area.
The youth, I describe them as the heartbeat of any community, and I've been able to feel the pulse of the community with their contribution. A report will be drawn out and will be discussed with His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde.
The Speaker seized the opportunity to give an account of his stewardship and promised the people of more government presence in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide News. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. Our next stop is Jos, where Frama has some reports for us. Hello, Frama.
Jos. Critical players in the housing sector are meeting in Jos to deliberate and come up with policies that will reposition the sector. India and the Abuja reports that the 9th meeting of the National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development attracted participants from 36 states of the Federation.
The annual meeting of the National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development, which is the highest policy organ in the housing sector, is discussing ways to tackle housing deficit in the country. The 5-day event will examine debt management and housing delivery, appropriate budgeting for housing delivery, technical sessions, and status of implementation of decisions reached at the 8th meeting in Abuja. The critical players emphasized that housing is a life wire of all towns and cities and called for synergy to meet the sustainable development goals.
It is encouraged that most states and local governments should key into what federal government is doing concerning housing development in Nigeria.
At the end of the meeting, resolutions will be arrived at that will go a long way in reviving the housing sector, especially situations where we have these slums all over the places.
So I think the 9th meeting will be a very good platform for us to look critically into these impediments.
The meeting has as its theme housing delivery in the COVID-19 era and beyond, strategies for affordability and accessibility in Jos, Indenyan, and the Abuja. NTA News.
Food security is one of the priorities of the Buhari-led administration, and it is committed to achieving this through relevant partnership. The government, through the Nigeria Competitiveness Project, NICOP, is synergizing with farmers in Plateau State not only to develop some key agricultural produce, but upgrade same for exports. Caleb Gochin reports.
The Nigeria Competitiveness Project, NICOP, is a 4-year project sponsored by the European Union and implemented by the German corporation to assist MSMEs to develop. It is in pursuance of this that Plateau, being one of the benefiting states, is being supported to up its successes in tomato and pepper production.
We are coming to launch Plateau State chapter on African Continental Free Trade Area, which is a mega trade agreement that has been signed by 54 African countries.
Plateau State Governor Simon Bakola, long represented, said it is time states took advantage of such programs to improve their revenue.
The agenda for Plateau State for this year is to at least take 5,000 Nigerian youths out of the street. And we believe that agriculture presents one of these avenues which we can take some of these youths out of the street.
Plateau State is endowed for agricultural activities, so that everything planned on the plateau grows.
Our desire is that these value chains that we support in Plateau State, that is tomato, ginger, chili, that will take them from where they are to the next level.
One of the benefits they've taught us on how to know the cost of production, then it can help you to even put your price.
In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Elizabeth, it's back to you in Abuja for the rest of the news.
Thank you so much. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission says Nigeria is losing between $10 to $15 billion annually through illicit financial flows, thereby putting the country's foreign exchange reserve under pressure. The chairman of the commission stated this at a nationwide capacity building aimed at sharpening the skills of the commission's investigators to curb the illegitimate across cross-border financial flows. With the commission focusing more on preventive measures, it is expected that at the end of the training, the ICPC can effectively track illicit financial flows, stop it and recover what is stolen.
We're losing a lot more money to illicit financial flows than to direct, if I may say, corruption. Okay? Illicit financial flows happen innocuously through normal, what you will regard as normal business transactions, normal trade transactions, normal commercial transactions. So we're training investigators to look beyond the ordinary and to look at the predicate indicators that will show you that something is wrong.
The People's Democratic Party has been petitioned to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, as well as the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, by one of its members and former Commissioner of Information in Edo State, Kasim Afegwa, asking that the leadership of the party account for an alleged sum of 10 billion naira. Timothy Yusuf reports that he submitted a petition to the Anti-Graft Agency this Monday, and that the leadership of the party has also swiftly reacted.
In the petition, Afegwa is asking the anti-graft agencies to look into and scrutinize close to 10 billion naira that allegedly accrued to the party's purse from 2017 till date, especially those that were as a result of sales of nomination forms for presidential, governorship, House of Assembly and senatorial elections, saying as an opposition party, the leadership should lead by example by ensuring that there is transparency and accountability. He specifically accused the national chairman, Uche Secondus, of not living up to the expectations of strengthening the party to play its formidable role as a virile opposition party. Reacting to the petition, the leadership of the PDP says there is no truth in the allegation, explaining that the party did not raise the sum of 10 billion naira, as alleged by Afegwa, but generated the sum of 4.6 billion naira and raised the budget for its expenditure in line with all known financial regulations of the party.
We have submitted our audited account to INEC. If there are questions, we should go to INEC and ask questions.
National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Kola Ologbodiyan, says the party's budget also passed through the organs of the party and received the approvals from the National Working Committee, the Governors Forum, the Board of Trustees, as well as other organs of the party. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
For some sporting stories, let's join Samuel Johnson.